If I'm gonna be so honest, which I do try to be on this channel, I did do a whole section today. My highest goal, my highest version of myself that I would love to be able to come true. Reinforcement wants to increase behavior, punishment wants to decrease a behavior. Positive is adding something, negative is removing something. I'm hoping that I was busy enough yesterday that today won't be as much, but we'll see. Still TBD. I wish it weren't that TBD. I wish it were more for sure. It's like a little bit of a big deal. Like, this is kind of a life-changing vlog. Just a little bit.
I feel it coming on. Right now it won't be long. She knows real well that our love gon' fade away. So let it die, take me to a better day. Oh, time, make me right. Come on, time, make me alright. Yeah, time, make me right. Come on, time, make me alright. Yeah, it's been tough. I'm feeling like I'm stuck. If this is love, I'm thinking I've had enough. I'm hoping she's gone. Do you think that's wrong? I'm not gonna lie and say that it's okay. 'Cause oh no, hell no, I just don't play that game. Oh, time, make me right. Come on, time, make me alright.
This is a very big week for you to be joining me on, and I'm so grateful for it. But hi, my name is Anna, and this is a work week in my life, a kind of busy work week in my life, and a really big work week in my life. So I'm a social worker. I have vlogged from my last semester of my undergrad all the way through grad school, my first jobs, like becoming a social worker, and now I'm officially 3 years post-grad with my master's, which is crazy. I feel like the time has been very slow and also a little bit flown by. But why that's a big deal this week is that in Georgia, in order to become eligible to be a fully licensed independent clinical social worker, there are several things you need, one of which is the 3 years post-grad. Officially last week I hit that, meaning officially this week I'm eligible to apply because I have all of the other qualifications that I need as well. So this week we're sending in my application for me to become a fully licensed social worker. The licensing process is not going to be done, like this is just the first step of becoming that by sending in the application, but it is what's getting the ball rolling. So very big week. With that, I also am returning to work after a week off since I was at camp last week. So returning after time off is always, it can be so different. It can be so different. Whenever I came back from my honeymoon, if you remember, I was a little bit of a mess and it took me, I remember 4 days to really feel like I got my feet back under me. It'll be a bummer if it takes that long again, but if it takes that long again, so be it. It's whatever. So we're going to be tackling that this week. And then also with that, we are starting to study for the examination that I'm going to need to take in order to get my license, as we were talking about. So the process is that I send in my application, the board has to sit and review it, and then I'll get notified that I'm eligible to sit for the examination. Then I have to schedule the examination and then have to take the examination, all of which where I'm actually a fully licensed social worker. So like I said, we're just getting the ball rolling, but since I'm turning in the application, we are also absolutely locking in with studying for my LCSW exam. Starting this week, I have like this whole time block schedule thing going on that we'll kind of talk about as it happens, but I hate to be like, oh, this week is out of the ordinary, because like really it probably would feel relatively ordinary. We're just like locking in a little bit harder, but this week is out of the ordinary, and the fact that this is like a very big professional achievement to even be sending in the application. And I'm very excited for everything to be just like ready to go and on its way. I'm very excited for that. I can't figure today out because I feel like I was busy, but I also feel like I didn't get a lot done, but it does not feel as awful as when I came back after my honeymoon. The honeymoon was 3 more working days out, so like there was more time, but also just like more happened over that time period than this most recent time period. And so there's still like to-dos that I need to do, but I don't quite feel organized on them, but I'm like working through it, if that makes sense. To really get myself in the studying mindset, I did listen to a couple podcasts on the way home. I'm gonna go through the Agents of Change podcast. I remember listening to their shorts before my MSW exam, and I felt like they were helpful. I don't think they would be like the only thing you can do, but they're like a good refresher on some little topics. And I just feel like the number of times, if I can increase the number of times I'm exposed to things, then like the more likely I am to remember them for the exam. So I was listening to those, and then this whole week we're doing time blocking. Right now it is 4:50, so I have about 10 minutes before I start my studying. If you can see, this is the Google Calendar this week. So the little like corally salmon color is work, and these are when I'm getting home from work, and the different topics that I have planned for each study period. And I'm starting by going through the Dawn Apgar book and just going basically just through the sections. And so today I have section 1, which is all about the examination, about study strategies, and about the test taking tips. That will be today. And then because I took a practice test last weekend and scored it, I have like the questions that I got wrong to go through. I'm planning on doing an hour 45 of the Dawn Apgar book, unless that just seems like a lot, like depending on the section, unless I finish the section sooner. Doing about an hour 45 of that, and then doing about 15 to 20 minutes reviewing questions that I missed. And I think that this will be a good strategy, a good schedule, but also we will adjust it as needed as we go through it. This is the first week, so we're just trying things out. I do still have a couple forms. I sent the forms to the people that needed to get sent to today, that all they need are signatures. I just don't know when they're going to get around to signing them and getting them back to me, but I really hope it's really soon. Very hopeful it's very soon. But I got my application notarized today, which is a requirement, and then I'm gonna look today also to see like where, basically to get the mailing address so I can put it on the envelope, to get like who the check should be made out to, so I can just get all those things ready, and so that maybe tomorrow, if I get those other forms back, that I could go and like actually ship my application after work. That's what I'm really hoping for. But I literally just walked back in the door from the hospital, so I'm still wearing my like scrubs and everything. I am going to shower, and then we will get on with our study grind. Study session number 1 of this LCSW study season is finished. I feel like all of these study sessions are going to be like me telling you what I did, and then also me telling you like what I'm changing. But what my plan was kind of to do like some in the book and then start going over the practice questions that I got wrong on the practice test. I did do a whole section today, but it's the about the exam section. So it was about the exam, study strategies, and test taking tips that I think was good to just go over to start. Number 1, it gets me back into like focusing on a book and learning and like taking some notes. Number 2, it gives like a framework, as then now I'm going to dive into like the knowledge bases basically from here on out that I have planned so far, and then I'll be able to like circle back to this before actually taking the test. So it wasn't the actual things that'll be on the test today that I was going over, but it is still very important things. And then it kind of occurred to me, I pulled out my tests to see like how I would start going over questions. I think I'm going to make it through all of the book that I'm going to do first and then go back to that test, because I want to go through and see like what questions I missed and why. But it occurred to me like if I missed a question based on a lack of knowledge, then like I don't know, I'm like relearning that by going through the book now. So then like my notes would be in 2 separate places, sort of like I'd be doing the same thing and like repeating. I don't know, just to me like repetition is good, but it feels better to be organized, where it's like I'm going to learn the things. If I didn't know something in the test, then I'm not going to know when I'm going through the book too, and I'm going to like learn about it and like take a note by it, and then I think it'll be be helpful that then after I make it through the whole book, then I'll go back to the test, because at that point, if I missed a question because of like a knowledge deficit or something like that, I'll then now have that knowledge to be able to understand the right answer and why that answer was the right answer. Does that make sense? So that's kind of what I'm thinking heading into tomorrow. It is currently 6:55 p.m. My goal was to end at 7, so this ended up being pretty good. I honestly kind of was thinking that I would get done with this section early. No, did not happen, but I want to spend the rest of the night reading my book. Number one, just because I haven't been reading as much. Like the 2 weeks that I had come back to work, I was just busy, so I didn't really pick stuff up as much. And then obviously at camp, I like didn't read at all. I brought my book, but that was very aspirational of me. Did not read it at all. And so I want to read just for literally the sake of reading. And also a lot of the study strategies and things are like about working up your brain stamina again, because I'm however long out of school, so I haven't like sat down and focused on something like this for a while. And I do feel it a little bit where my brain just doesn't focus like as easily. It's out of practice for doing that. And I feel like sitting down and reading will help me in that aspect too. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the night. If I'm going to be so honest, which I do try to be on this channel, waking up this morning, my mindset just has not been there. My brain is going very negative and just about like nothing. Like doing the steps of my morning routine today has been like very purposeful, and I'm having to like force myself instead of just like happily going throughout the day. And I feel like that just happens sometimes. So I'm just trying to accept that that's where I'm at right now, and I'm gonna let myself sit here for a little bit and then try to turn it around. I do feel like I hope that this little negative mindset doesn't continue into the workday, because that never makes things easier. And also sometimes I feel like no matter how I'm feeling when I head into work, once I get to work, it's kind of just like, okay, game time, which has pros and cons, because sometimes that can be exhausting too. But it does like jumpstart me out of whatever I've got going on whenever I'm heading into work. We woke up at 4:55 this morning. I do such a poor job at vlogging early morning workout, because I'm just like not quite, I don't know, I'm not quite comfortable enough in them yet to like be a person and talk or even just like think about filming anything whenever I'm at the gym that early. But today was back, which was really good. I enjoy back days because they honestly feel like the easiest day to me. Every other workout day that we do in our little workout split has 2 body parts that we do, because we do, well, okay, we do legs, that's just one, but that's a beast of its own. We do legs, and then we do chest and buys, and then we do back. So that's just like, it's a nice break also because it's the one furthest from leg day. And then tomorrow we'll do shoulders and tries, and we just cycle through that. That's what we've been doing since about January, February, kind of after the wedding. And I feel like what has been successful in gaining me muscle, losing me fat, all of the little body transformation that's been happening. I don't talk about this that often. I feel like I just like allude to it, but I've never shared this part. Today versus this time last year, I'm down 14 pounds, and I've gained muscle in that time. So like there's been body recomp happening, and that's had to be very purposeful. I feel like I had to take the reins of it, because I feel like being younger, now that I'm old, being younger, there is just one, more activity that's built into your life, and then 2, your body just like, I don't know, handles things a little more resiliently. And I got kind of used to that and kind of comfortable for that. And then it honestly was running that was really good for me when I did it, but also just like entirely threw me off of my typical fitness routine in a way that I just like didn't recover from well, because I trained for half marathon, ran half marathon, kept running a little bit, and then just entirely stopped. But at that point hadn't strength trained in a long time, so I'd lost a lot of muscle, and then like wasn't regular going to the gym. And so it was like winter 2023 into new year 2024, I did gain a lot of weight while having lost muscle. And last year in 2024, probably in like the springtime, is when I was like, maybe I need to kind of start being purposeful about this, or start paying attention to it. Like I kind of had the goal to get my body to feel more like mine again. But I mean, with wedding planning, with like the hospital move last year, there was just a lot of like things to where I wasn't actually like following a plan that would have me being successful at changing my body and getting fit again. And it was after the wedding is whenever like started doing the early morning workouts again, started actually like paying attention to what I eat, realizing that no matter what I do in the gym, like I also have to eat well to fuel my body while not overeating. And I feel like in the past couple months, I've been able to like see the positive changes that has brought me, both like on the scale and off. And with that, I try not to talk about it exactly as much as like I'm actually focusing on it, just because anytime that I like speak about like health or wellness or anything like that, I would so much prefer the message to be like encouraging people to just like be healthy, be active, feel good in their bodies. Like that's what I want my message to be. And the past months, like that has been what I've been focusing on, but I've also had to more purposely focus on like literally losing weight. So I haven't really wanted to talk about it, because that's not really what I want to like project on other people, because nobody else needs to. I just know my own body and know what I needed and know like the health level that I was at. But it is very important to just treat your body nice and be kind to it. All that being said, I feel like that was several different topics. Heading into work, it's a Tuesday. I felt very unorganized yesterday, so I think I really just need to like focus on kind of getting organized today. And then I also have a one-on-one with my manager this afternoon. Nothing too notable outside of that. I hope my brain picks itself up and gets going again, but I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you when we get home. Home from work, quick turnaround to the studs, the old studs for the day. I'm pretty sure it's assessment and diagnosis is the section that I'm doing today, but after I finish, I can tell you more.
Alright, please define social constructionist.
Is that the one where it's based on like people's shared beliefs of what the community is? Like that's how society forms, is that people have shared beliefs of what societal norms are in the historical context and such?
To a certain extent. You got some big words in there. Social reality comes from common understanding influenced by process grounded in customs as well as cultural and historical context.
That's
so
what
you got the gist.
That's what I was describing, yeah, even if I didn't say it exact.
Please define humanistic.
Can you give a word after that?
Unique and responsible for choices made, capacity for change, inherent desire for growth, personal meaning, competence, anxiety, but not consistent with true self.
I wrote that. It believes that people like inherently want to grow and inherently want to like improve.
19 to 29. You tell me the stage. Eric, and
okay.
19 to 29.
Oh, that's all I'm getting.
Yeah.
Intimacy
that's
versus
half.
Loneliness, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 1 to 3.
Initiative versus guilt.
One more game.
Is that the one after it? Is that the one older? Before it is trust versus mistrust.
That's the other one on the other side.
That's what I said. It's before it is trust versus mistrust. This is the one though that it's like babies. It's like when we was sugar. It's like I'm trying to tell you.
You're trying to get something. You're trying to become.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's whenever babies start to like go away from their mom to try out a task and then come back.
Independent is a
independence versus
for the word that starts with an A.
Autonomy.
Yes.
Guilt.
Shame. Yes.
Oh, shame. But okay, let me define it too. That's whenever they start trying out new tasks to see if they feel capable.
Yeah.
And if that opportunity is not given to them or if they're criticized for doing that, then that's when they feel like they're not capable as people. You can get stuck in that phase.
So it's 65 plus.
Generativity versus... That's not that one? Oh, I just thought that was the one before it. That's the middle-aged people.
That's stagnation.
Despair is the bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's feeling satisfied
and
in your life.
What do boomers have?
It's looking back at your life and either feeling satisfied by your accomplishments or feeling despair because you feel like you didn't accomplish enough. Ego. It's just ego? It doesn't
ego, integrity.
Ego, integrity versus... I was able to define it even if I didn't say the exact things.
Yeah.
Which is how they ask it on the test.
Give me the 4 stages of P gets cognitive development. Just the names.
Pre-operational.
That's 2. What is the world around you?
Skipping 1, pre-operational, operational. Oh, preconditional? No.
I thought that's what it was, but you wrote concrete on here. I remember.
Oh, that's me
else.
Explaining it. I didn't write the name of it.
The first one is sensory motor.
Oh, sensory motor. Okay. Because that's your brain's not actually like thinking thoughts yet. It's just like
sensory.
So sensory motor is that you're literally just like seeing things basically. You start to recognize signals, but not necessarily cause and effect. There's not even concrete thinking yet. Concrete thinking starts to happen in pre-operational, and you can maybe kind of start doing abstract, but not really. Imaginary friends happen in pre-operational.
Give me all 4 of those and how they are different. Like
so the
positive, negative, reinforcement.
Reinforcement wants to increase a behavior. Punishment wants to decrease a behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Positive is adding something, negative is removing something. And thus, positive reinforcement is rewarding for behavior that you'd like to see more, such as getting a little Snickers if you make it through a day of work. Negative reinforcement is taking away something bad that's happening once a good behavior happens. So I'm going to scream until you give me my Snickers, and then once you do the good behavior, then I'll stop screaming.
Mm-hmm.
Positive punishment is adding something negative that you don't want when a negative behavior happens, because you're wanting to decrease it. So that would be like spanking. And then negative punishment is taking away something that is desired whenever an undesirable behavior happens. Yeah, such as taking a phone away or grounding somebody. You don't get dessert.
Let's do aversion theory.
Aversion is pairing something that you don't want to happen anymore with something negative, like that medicine that you can drink
and
if
like
you have alcoholism.
Too.
Or like the nail polish that tastes bad for people that bite their nails.
What is a token economy?
Whenever you get tokens that then you get to spend, if you have like do a good behavior, you get a token. We had that, and then we called them B-Bucks in 2nd and 3rd grade. You could earn B-Bucks, and then you could buy things with B-Bucks at school.
What is shaping?
Like giving enforcement and encouragement and telling someone like how to do stuff along the steps of the way so that they do it. It's 7:11 and I've decided to be done for the night with studying. I got my strawberries as like my little snack, my little reward. I am going to have to adjust the amount of pages that I am expecting myself to do per day, because today, for some reason, I decided I would do a whole chapter that was 34 pages and I made it through about 10 pages in 2 hours. So I'm gonna have to do some adjustment. I do think part of it though is that since it was like the human behavior and all of that things, I think it was more vocab than some of the chapters will be, because some of the chapters, like if it's like personal use of self or something like that, you just know, I don't know, there's less vocab. You just like, it's like things to know, but it's not like I'm literally writing down like definitions. And I was kind of telling Zach this just a second ago too, but for me it's like seeing it and just reading it would not be enough for me to actually like comprehend and judge if I know something or not. Like I need to read it, and then the actual like writing it down is part of my like retention process and my like studying process. Even if I don't necessarily go back over what I've written, like the actual writing it down I feel like ensures that I like understand what I'm writing. So I do imagine like eventually once I make it through the whole book, then I'll go back and like look up flashcards or just like review the pages. But for now, I don't know, I'm just kind of focusing on like getting the things that I feel like I need down on the page. There was a phrase that the book said yesterday whenever I was doing the like about the test section, that it said like your knowledge for the licensing exam needs to be a mile wide and an inch deep, because you don't know what you're being tested on. So like you don't need to read a whole textbook on like one theory, because that's you knowing way too much about that theory for the test, but you need your knowledge to be a mile wide. And I am definitely feeling that. I'm feeling like, I don't know, it's like fun to learn back again the things that I learned in school, because honestly I always enjoyed school and I always enjoyed learning, and like I had a good time with that. And I feel like the further I got removed from it, like looking back now, it's like, oh, I do remember a lot of these like theories and things like that, and it just, I don't know, it scratches a certain itch in my brain where I'm like, this is nice, I enjoy this. I'm gonna do my strawberries. I'm gonna spend some time on my Google Calendar adjusting the schedule of things, because also originally whenever I didn't for real know, I thought that I might be mailing in my application today, but I don't yet have the 2 papers back from people that I need, the remaining 2 papers, and it might be closer to the end of the week that I have those, but I'm still in like perfect fine time. Like in my head it was just like my deadline that I set for myself, but it's not like actually pushing me back, so we're good. I just need to like adjust things on the Google Calendar. back for another night of studying. Something that I hadn't told you about yet is that I've been keeping this list just like on a paper nearby me as I'm studying of things that like occur to me that I would like to add to my list, sort of. So like, as you know, I'm making my way through the whole book, so these are like things that I'm thinking of that I would like to like go back to or spend more time with. So far I just have read the ASWB test information on aswb.org, just the things of like testing rules, what you can bring, what you can't bring. Like I just want to have that be a time that I make sure I go over that. Read through the code of ethics. I'm very familiar with the code of ethics from like grad school and everything. They really hammer that in, but read back through it just to have it fresh on the mind before heading into the test. And then also there's a section at the beginning of this that was called key social work terms, and I didn't go through it all because I figured that probably a lot of them will be touched on as I go through the book, but I want to go back to that section at the end and just see and like make sure that all of them were touched on and that I feel confident in all of them. So that's kind of the list I have so far, but I'm just keeping that nearby in case any of my studying like provokes further studying, because then too I like am able to just like write it down and then refocus back on what's in front of me. So today, technically yesterday, I gave myself a 30-page chapter. As you know, I made it through 10 pages, so I think I'm just gonna have to do like a time goal each night and just see what I get through, because as we already talked about, I don't think all the chapters are going to be that writing heavy for me, but yesterday just was. And so today I'm continuing through the human development, human growth and development, I believe is the specific section that I'm in. I'm continuing through that, and so I'm starting with child development, and we'll just kind of see how far I get. And third day in a row is making this feel like a habit. I will say today was very busy at work. Like I was just doing task after task after task, which was honestly really good because I did not procrastinate calling the people that I needed to call today. I don't always do that, but sometimes I'm like, oh, well, let me get things done and then I'll call people. And today I was like, actually, I want to know like all the tasks that are on my list, because usually if I call someone, then I have like something to do afterwards. And I was like, I need to know all the tasks that are on my list. So I just like called all my people earlier on in the day, which then did add a lot of tasks to my list, but I was able to like work my way through them consistently through the day. There was a moment though that I was thinking like, wow, I'm doing a lot with my brain right now. Is my brain gonna feel tired by the time I get home and have to study? And I don't know, but we'll see. Right now it is 4:58, so I'm actually 2 minutes early because 5 to 7 have been my study hours, which I also think has been good because ending at 7 gives me time to ideally read, but also I have been like working on this weekend's video and working on putting editing hours in for that, because originally I given myself all of Friday to do that video, and now we're actually going to dinner on Friday, and so I'll have less hours that night, so I'm just like starting with the video. That's kind of the plan. What should my playlist be for today? I've been liking several. I've just like been looking things up and kind of bouncing through. So I have Pop Study that I listened to for a little bit. The issue with this one is that I like a lot of the songs that are on it, so then I'll like find myself like enjoying the song as I'm studying instead of like studying. I have listened to soft Taylor Swift songs for studying, which has been good, but also I feel like the soft Taylor songs sometimes like put me to sleep a little bit too. And then there's one that's called I Can't, I Have to Study. It says Rory Gilmore, Hermione Granger, Christina Yang, and Spencer Hastings vibes, which I think is so funny. And I think that's probably what I'm going to listen to today. It has a big variety. It's over 10 hours worth of songs. It is 7 p.m. I have made it through my 2 hours of studying. I made it all the way through the first section that I was in, and I started human behavior in the social environment, which on my schedule originally was like I would do that entire chapter today, and I definitely will continue my adjustments. I kind of think, like I said, this video is just gonna be me doing things and me telling you what I'm gonna be doing differently. I think I'm just gonna count on the 2-hour study blocks each day instead of like, oh, complete a certain chapter, and then I think I'll just keep track in my Google Calendar. Like I'll just edit my Google Calendar afterwards of like what I actually finished, because then I can kind of be keeping track of like how much I have left to go in the book. I mean, I also can just like literally visually see that as I flip through the book, but it's like I'll just do that. And I got my little treat, my little San Pellegrino. I drank that to get myself through the last hour, but I think I'm gonna make hot chocolate pretty soon and get started on my editing. My brain does feel tired, but also my brain feels successful because we did day 3. I slept so well last night. Leg day this morning got skipped because the alarm went off at 4:55 and I like could not pull myself out of sleep, but it was the most refreshing sleep that I feel like I've gotten in the longest time. And then, at risk of being TMI, I also like was able to blow my nose in a way that actually like emptied my sinuses, and I feel like things that I've been carrying around in my sinuses for the past like week are gone, and I just feel so refreshed and ready to go. I am definitely pushing it on getting to work. I need to leave like right now, but wanted to update you, say happy Thursday. I also this morning, I don't know if you can see back there, I did some hand washing of things that have been just waiting to get hand washed. It's like a dress that I wore on honeymoon, a shirt that I wore on my honeymoon that are hand wash only, and then a pair of like little shapewears that I wore with the dress, all of which I've just been putting off actually washing. And I did that today because I think I want to wear that shirt tomorrow when we go out to dinner. I feel like I'm glad that we planned going out to dinner tomorrow because, or that we said yes to the invitation to go out to dinner tomorrow, because it's like giving me something to look forward to. And I feel like as I'm like putting my head down and grinding, that is definitely helpful for me. But I gotta get to work really quickly. Hope to have a great day at work. I'm hoping that I was busy enough yesterday that today won't be as much, but we'll see. I can never actually speak on like what my day will look like because then it always surprises me. Hi, my name's Anna, and this is me after a random Thursday at work that should not have been that treacherous, but like, why do I look like this? It actually wasn't that treacherous. With how busy I was yesterday, I think I told you, I really did not have all too many things come up today. All the things that did come up were just like easy peasy lemon squeezy type things, or like just clerical work, I guess, that I left for myself today. So that was fine. But today is a hair wash day, like desperately. We're on day 6. So desperately hair wash day, which means I'm just gonna get started with my studying after hair wash and getting settled. So it'll be a little bit later than what I have been doing, but I'll just still get my 2 hours in. Yay, yay. This is my last day of studying for this week in this vlog though, since tomorrow we're going out to dinner, and I'm really hopeful that tomorrow I get to send my application too. I'm still waiting on 2 things. Everything else is done, so tomorrow at work I'll get it just literally all set up, and then I hope to get the 2 remaining things that I need to add to it, and then if all goes to plan, then I'll also like go and mail it after work tomorrow. Still TBD. I wish it weren't that TBD. I wish it were more for sure, because I'm fully planning on sending it this vlog, and I still am like having faith that that's happening. I just don't yet have those papers in my possession, so we will see tomorrow. I thought about waiting to make this debut, but then I decided I actually did not want to wait at all. But I have gotten so tired of holding this tiny little thing because I've been annoying myself in videos by holding it like this. So I got myself a actual mic that I think I'm gonna love, but if the sound sounds really weird, then I'll pick that up in editing and maybe make adjustments as needed. I fear that I'm gonna love this though. That's what I fear. Hair is washed. We are ready to get studying. Today's studying, I updated my I slowed things down in my Google Calendar plan. So today's studying goal is only to finish human behavior in the social environment. And I think that that should be doable, hopefully, especially because human behavior in the social environment is a lot of reading and just like making sure that I comprehend. And honestly, I feel like a lot of the stuff I read and I'm like, oh, that's common sense. And then I have to remind myself like, no, that's like common sense to my brain because I've gotten multiple degrees in this subject and like use it every day. Like that's why it feels like common sense. So it's still good to like read and review, but that's a good feeling to have. I just have to make sure I'm actually thinking that when I actually know something, not just because I'm like, oh sure, I know that, and then I don't actually. So I do think that finishing this section should be doable because I'm not going to need to write as many notes, maybe just a couple like star points if I really feel so called to. And then after that, this is where things are starting to feel busy, and I had to rethink some things today because I've been thinking like, oh, like Friday nights I'll edit that weekend's video or something like that. I think I underestimate how long editing actually takes me. I am making good progress on this weekend's video, but it's because I've been doing it at night after my studying instead of reading like I kind of thought I would. And I think that that's probably just going to be realistic. Like whenever I am adding 10 to 12 hours of a new thing into my week, I'm going to have to prioritize I can't prioritize everything at once. I'm going to have to prioritize my studying, and I'm going to have to prioritize my YouTube editing outside of my regular 40-hour work week. And that's fine. I think I had higher goals than that of like all of the things that I could fit in a day, and that's not realistic. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to work on editing the video for the rest of the night, again with hopes that tomorrow I'm actually mailing that application. You probably know already because like I probably would have put it in the beginning of this video as the little intro sneak peek if I have. So you can be either thinking like, oh, she doesn't know, yay, like tomorrow will be the big day, or you'll be thinking like, oh, Anna, I hate for you to find this out. You're not mailing that thing this week, but things should be fine. And this is my last day of studying before a break tomorrow. I'm not even gonna try to study tomorrow for Friday, and I think that is gonna be healthy and great because I am feeling like the mental tiredness a little bit, where I realize like, yes, this is gonna be a sprint, and also I don't want to just like burn out my brain, especially with the fact that I haven't done things like this in 3 years since I've used my brain, but I'm using my brain again, and it's a little hard because honestly, and I forget what I've said, so you're probably gonna get so sick of me, I do truly think my goal is to do like as much studying as I can in this period when I'm waiting to get approved to sit and take the exam, so that when I get approved I can like sit and assess. But my highest goal, my highest version of myself that I would love to be able to come true is like I get approved to take my exam and I just take it. That's my hope. I don't know if that's realistic or not, but that is my hope. I'm putting off studying now by just continuing to talk to you, and I need to stop doing that, but it is 5:25 right now, which means it's gonna be at least 7:25 by the time I get done. Or I guess if I do finish human behavior in the social environment, then I can be done, even if it's not the full 2 hours. But I have to start so that then I can get done. I have to start reading so that then I can be making progress on pages. Chicken tenders for dinner. Don't know if I told you that. Chicken tenders. Okay, that's enough. I need to actually go and do the thing right now. If I do not get to turn in my LCSW application today, like send it in the mail, I might throw a fit. I might. I would like to think I'm more grown up than that. But really what it was that I was starting to plan my like mid-year reset yesterday. And I was like, if I have to go over my yearly goals and state the fact that I haven't even mailed in my LCSW application yet, I'm gonna be pissed. So that's my goal for today though. That is entirely outside of my control because the only things remaining, well, it's like, the only things remaining are things that are not currently me. I'm just like waiting on, which is fine. I'll be grown up about it. It was just like in my head that's what I was gonna do on like Tuesday, and so I have trouble adjusting from my routine once I like set my routine and set my goals for myself and like set what I'm gonna do on each day. I have trouble adjusting from that, I do. But I'm gonna bring everything I can, and then hopefully I can just finish everything today, get it all in one big envelope, and then take it to get mailed with tracking by the end of today. Because like I said, my goal is the July board meeting, and you have to arrive before 14 days of the meeting, so I still should be fine, but let me look at a calendar. Today is Friday the 13th. Good golly. Okay, I believe the July board meeting is on Friday, July 11th, which is actually back a week because the week before that is July 4th. So 2 weeks before that is the 27th, which is 2 weeks from today. So if I mail it next week, it'll be fine. It'll be fine, but will I be? Stay tuned. All I need to do left is put on mascara and then get to work. I have a one-on-one with my manager today. That was going to be Tuesday. I forget if I told you that it was going to be Tuesday, but it got rescheduled for today. So that'll be in my afternoon. A couple small to-dos I already know about in the day that are work-related. And then the big to-do of getting my application in. And then tonight, we get to go out to dinner. And I'm so excited for that. And I looked up the place today and I didn't realize, like I knew the name of the place, but I didn't realize that I'd walked by it before. Like I actually know the place that we're going, just never been there. So now I'm more excited for that. But let me put on mascara so that people don't ask me if I feel okay all day today. And stay tuned, because you're about to find out if I'm mailing in my application. Let's go get this scent. Let's go get this scent. I don't have to throw a fit. You're spared of me throwing my fit. Let's go get this scent with a tracking number. I feel like this is a really big deal. Whenever I was walking out of work, like with this envelope in hand, I was like, should I cry? And I was like, Anna, you're literally just like sending in an application for the chance to test, for the chance to become an LCSW. Like we're not there yet, baby girl. We're just at step one, but it is nice being at step one because this has been years coming. So it is like kind of a big deal. Like a little bit of a big deal. Like, this is kind of a life-changing vlog, just a little bit. I'm at UPS though, so I'm gonna go get it sent at UPS. After what, 6 years or something, like
I love my life.
true. I got that lightning.
You should just leave your phone time lapsing out there.
It would get taken.
Yeah, it would, but it'd be cool.
Okay, one more lightning. Come on, guys. Ah, I did that. We made it back home. The food was great. We stopped by Whole Foods and got little snacks. I had a little hydration drink that I don't really think I'll get again. But thanks for being here with me through all of my important moments. You have been here through so many of my important moments. And if you can't tell, I'm feeling like sentimental, literally about the fact that there's just like an envelope that is now in the mail. So you can only imagine the fact of like what I'm going to be feeling as other steps of this process happen. But make sure you're subscribed so that you can keep being with me through all of my life-changing moments that just somehow keep happening this year. So many of them. I have a very time blocked out weekend. We're going to do a lot, and I'm planning on just vlogging like everything in the coming months. So if you're down for that, which I hope you are, subscribe, like this video because it really does help me out a lot. I love you. I adore you. And I'll see you next time.